Hey guys, what's going on? Hermdo back with you. Hope you're having a good one. We got all sorts of Pistons news and updates. We're going to look over the last few games. We're going to talk about season expectations. We're going to get into the Anthony Davis rumors, see if there's any smoke there. But let's start off with this. December 12th, 2 days ago, Atlanta versus Atlanta, a 142-115 win by the Pistons. Summary: a complete game effort. Pistons shot extremely well, 58% team field goals, multiple players in double figures, dominated the paint and pace, and the bench exploded. Balance was the headline. Detroit outscored Atlanta in the third quarter and closed the game decisively. Cade played limited minutes left in the third with a precautionary issue. Duran contributed inside. This was a blowout that showed Detroit's depth and offensive cohesion. We're going to go back to December 6th, statement win against Milwaukee. Pistons snapped a long Bucks winning run at Little Caesars Arena. Cade had 20 plus point, 10 assist night, and the team built a big lead with physical interior defense and efficient scoring. The game showcased Detroit's ability to sustain offensive output against top wins bigs when Duran and the front court are engaged. December 5th versus Portland, 122-116 win. Summary: high scoring, heavy usage for the ball handlers. Cade delivered an explosive offensive night, near 30 points. The bench, 30-point spacing, opened driving lanes. Portland pressured, but Detroit's finishing at the rim and offensive rebounding closed it out. Now here we go, December 3rd versus Milwaukee, a loss, 113-109. Close road loss. Pistons were competitive, but Milwaukee closed stronger. Turnovers and a few defensive lapses and late possessions swung the difference. Still, Detroit showed it can hang with top offenses on the road. December 1st versus Atlanta, 99-98 win. Very, very tight, grind-type win. Detroit took over late, scored eight of final points in the last 3 minutes, 21 seconds. Detroit's half-court execution and crunch time carried them. The game highlighted Cade's clutch shot creation and the team's defensive willingness in game possession. Key takeaways: balance plus depth, multiple games with many scores and double figures, benches contributing at a higher clip. Offense: elite ball handling, creation from Cade plus spacing from shooters, team high TS percentage nights. Defense and paint control, Jalen Duran and front court employment have made Detroit stronger on the glass and in finishing possessions, but occasional late defensive lapses, turnovers remain an issue. Here's some advanced stats. Cade Cunningham, a profile, season averages, advanced context per game: 26.9 points, 9.1 assists, 6.1 rebounds, among the leaders in assists per game, top 15 scoring. Shooting efficiency: 0.56 to 0.57, very efficient for lead creation. Field goals, approximately 45.4%. He's efficient because of improved finishing and free throw production. Usage and playmaking, USG percentage is elevated. Cade carrying the offense. Exact USG varies by site, but is high relative to most guards. Assistant percentage and assist totals make him among elite primary creators. Turnover rate is point to monitor: higher usage, more turnovers. Defensive box metrics are mixed. Moderate steal numbers, athleticism helps, but defensive rating is league average to slightly better when the team is fully engaged. Advanced metrics show Cade is positive and offense and still developing defensively. Cade is operating as a legitimate two-way franchise point of attack, elite playmaker who can create for self, others, and take over games. The main constraints are team shot creation around him, spacing, consistent shooting from role players, and managing turnover rate given high usage. Let's take a look at Jalen Duran. 18.6 points a game, 11.3 rebounds, field goal percentage 65%, high efficiency around the rim, ranks top 5 in field goal percentage, rebounding and rim defense, elite offensive defensive rebound rates in top tier among young centers, high block/contest rate in the rim area, plus finishes on putbacks, strong TS percentage, rebound rates per win share contributions are solid and improving year over year. Defensive impact shows the team rebound defensive rating splits when he is on the court. A high efficiency, high impact interior presence. He anchors a defense and cleans the glass, which allows perimeter defenders to gamble more. The advanced metrics underline his role as a top tier young big man. Main areas to expand are rim protection, consistency, and mid range post passing to diversify offense. Where the Pistons sit in the East, a little bit of an analysis here. As of these mid December sources, Detroit sits at the top of the Eastern Conference. 19-5 record. Their net rating is good but not extreme. They show up top-tier offensive capability on many nights and above-average defense when Duran is rolling. Strengths versus East rival matchups versus teams that rely on small ball wings. Detroit's length, Cade's playmaking, and Duran's finishing create favorable mismatches. Bench scoring and blowouts demonstrates the ability to sustain results through rest cycles. Elite two-way teams, Boston, New York Knicks, Milwaukee, when healthy, can pressure ball handlers and exploit isolation, defense, turnovers in tight games, and defensive communication on the perimeter are two areas opponents attack. Detroit is currently a legitimate top-tier Eastern team with a realistic top 3, top 6 ceiling, depending on health and consistency. Their primary task is sustaining defensive consistency and continuing to surround Cade with reliable shooters and secondary creators. Here's some Anthony Davis rumors. Multiple outlets, ESPN, CBS, Bleacher Report, have linked Davis to several Eastern suitors. Atlanta, Toronto, and Detroit are reportedly repeatedly mentioned among teams that might show interest in Davis becomes available. ESPN produced a trade guide piece with multi-team scenarios. Local reporting, Detroit Free Press, and some insiders push back. Detroit beat writers insiders suggest the Pistons have not been actively pursuing Davis. At the front office commentary indicates Detroit doesn't plan a splashy shakeup at the moment. In short, speculative interest exists in the market, but Pistons initiated talks look unlikely per local sources. Any Davis deal will require to offer substantial enough to convince the Mavericks or current team's front office. Detroit would likely have to surrender multiple high-value assets, young players, and picks to match the price. That raises competitive cost questions. Davis, as reported these sources, is a high-usage defensive big. On paper, he fits with Cade and Duren as a front-court two-star pairing, but blending Davis into rotations and minutes with Duren requires careful lineup management to avoid redundancy or defensive rebounding gaps. Probability, low to medium. Media buzz and league-wide interest are high, but the Pistons' internal messaging, the cost to acquire Davis, make a blockbuster acquisition by Detroit unlikely unless front office priorities change. Expect speculation to continue until clearer trade momentum around Davis appears. Season expectations, best worst case, what to watch. Eastern Conference Finals contender, top 3 seed if health holds. Role players continue to shoot at the league average, and if the defense stabilizes nights when Cade carries the load, the team already looks capable of beating top teams in short stretches. Realistic floor, first round exit or 5 to 7 seed. If turnover issues persist, perimeter defense lapses continue. Injuries to Cade, Duren occur. Depth is good, but the margin for error versus elite teams is small. Key factors that will determine whether Detroit underperforms expectations. Health and minutes management for Cade and Duren, both are high usage, load management, and bench support will matter. Shooting consistency from role players, spacing to maximize Cade's creation. If shooters regress, Cade's assistant efficiency numbers and team spacing will suffer. Defensive communication and turnover reduction tighten. Late game execution and reduce turnovers in close games. Any midseason moves, i.e. Big acquisitions like Davis, will materially change ceiling floor depending on cost and fit. Current reporting indicates this is speculative for Detroit. Quick tactical summary. Elite creation via Cade plus interior finishes via Duren propel this offense. High team TS percentage nights. Best when shooters hit and bench supply secondary shooting. Defense improved at rim and on the boards Duren, but perimeter rotations and late game execution needs tightening. Two paths look sensible. A, hold core at shooters passable 3-point spacing plus defense, or B, swing a blockbuster, i.e. By an NBA two-way forward center. The latter is speculative and costly. Local reporting suggests A, Detroit remains posture for now. Okay, so that's just a quick update on the Pistons so far this season. What's been going on? They've been playing extremely well, leading the East. The Anthony Davis rumors, just speculative right now. A lot of vapor in the air, no real smoke just yet, but I'll get you updates on that as the season continues. I don't know if Davis will be a good fit here. I know he's on the bench not on the bench, but he's injured quite a bit. I'll just say that. The availability is a concern for a guy like Davis. But, yeah, that's all I got for you guys right now. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about this Pistons season? You think there's anything they can improve? How do you feel about Cade, Duren, Jaden Ivey, all the guys, Asar Thompson, all these guys? How do you think they're contributing? Do you think Detroit can improve with perimeter defense? Do you think the TS percentage can be higher? I don't know. But, let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe to Detroit Fan Forum, and I'll talk to you guys later.